The story you are about to hear is not only disturbing, it is one of the darkest, most horrifying criminal cases in American history, a story that remained buried beneath silence, small-town secrecy, and the unimaginable evil of a man whose name still sends shivers through anyone who learns the truth. David Parker Ray, known infamously as the Toy Box Killer, a sadistic predator responsible for crimes so shocking, so twisted, and so meticulously planned that even seasoned investigators struggled to comprehend the full extent of his cruelty. For decades he moved like a ghost across the desert lands of truth or consequences, New Mexico, living a double life as a seemingly ordinary mechanic while operating a mobile torture chamber he chillingly called the Toy Box, a customized truck-sized trailer equipped with whips, chains, surgical tools, saws, pulleys, clamps, electrical torture devices, drugs, videotapes, recording equipment, and dozens of restraints, all designed for one purpose: to break human beings in the most monstrous ways imaginable. Before we go further, understand this: the true scale of David Parker Ray's crimes is still unknown, because to this day not a single confirmed body has ever been found. Investigators believe that his victims may number in the dozens, perhaps even in the hundreds, and that he operated undetected for nearly 40 years. But the story of the Toy Box Killer begins not in the desert, but decades earlier, with a childhood shaped by abandonment, neglect, and early exposure to violent pornography, which Ray later admitted fueled his sadistic fantasies. As a teenager he developed a fascination with bondage, torture, and sexual domination, keeping detailed diaries describing fantasies that mirrored the gruesome acts he would one day commit. Those dark fantasies grew with him into adulthood, and he eventually found a way to bring them to terrifying reality when he purchased a large trailer and began constructing what would later become the most sadistic torture chamber in modern American crime history. Inside the desert white, windowless trailer, Ray created a nightmare beyond imagination: soundproof walls, hooks hanging from the ceiling, metal frames designed to spread a victim's limbs, a gynecological chair bolted to the floor, surgical instruments organized with haunting precision, and a series of homemade devices engineered to inflict maximum pain without quickly killing the victim. But the most chilling part wasn't the equipment, it was the audio tape. Every woman who entered the toy box heard the same thing: a long, calm, emotionless recorded message in Ray's voice explaining exactly what he planned to do to them, step by step, in graphic detail. It was psychological terror layered on top of physical torture, a method designed to break victims' minds before their bodies. Ray rarely acted alone. His girlfriend, Cindy Hendy, and in some cases even his own daughter, reportedly helped lure women, drug them, restrain them, and erase their memories afterwards, using powerful sedatives and injection drugs. Victims were often held for days or weeks, enduring torture that is too graphic to describe fully, before being killed or released, drugged so heavily that they remembered little or nothing, dismissed by police or too terrified to come forward. This pattern continued for decades without interruption, until one woman found the strength, luck, and sheer willpower to escape. On March 22, 1999, 22-year-old Cynthia Vigil was kidnapped, chained to a bed, and held captive in the toy box. But unlike many before her, Cynthia fought relentlessly. When Cindy Hendy left a key unattended, Cynthia freed herself, grabbed an ice pick, stabbed Hendy, and ran barefoot, bleeding, and nearly naked through the streets. Until she found help. Her escape shattered decades of silence. Police raided Ray's property and were horrified by what they found: not just the torture chamber itself, but journals containing detailed descriptions of over 40 years of kidnappings and assaults, personal items belonging to missing women, videotapes of victims, clothing, and thousands of pieces of evidence suggesting many victims were never seen again. Investigators saw photos of terrified women chained and tortured, but none could be identified. Outside the trailer, they found burial sites, bone fragments, and disturbed earth, but no identifiable remains, leaving investigators to believe that Ray likely disposed of bodies in ways that prevented discovery, possibly dumping them in nearby Elephant Butte Lake or in abandoned mines across the desert. The police also uncovered evidence linking Ray to unsolved disappearances across New Mexico and Arizona. Some officers estimated he may have had 60, 80, or even over 100 victims, making him potentially one of the most prolific, but least known, serial predators in U.S. history. When Ray and Hendy were finally arrested, the courtroom was filled with shock, disgust, and disbelief. Cynthia Vigil gave a powerful testimony describing her torture, her escape, and the horrifying surroundings of the toy box. Another victim, Kelly Garrett, came forward after recovering lost memories, revealing she too had been kidnapped, drugged, raped, and released with amnesia years earlier. A third potential victim died before she could testify. Ray remained eerily calm throughout the trial, showing no remorse. Investigators believed he was far from finished, and that many victims' families would never know the truth. In 2002, before serving even a year of his sentence, David Parker Ray died of a heart attack in prison, taking with him every unanswered question about the number of victims, the locations of the bodies, and the full extent of the horror he inflicted. To this day, the toy box remains one of the most terrifying crime scenes ever discovered. No one knows how many lives were destroyed inside that trailer, no one knows how many victims were silenced forever, and no one knows how many families still have missing loved ones who were taken by a man they never even heard of. The toy box killer remains a chilling reminder that true evil often hides in plain sight, operating quietly, methodically, and without leaving behind the evidence needed for closure. And even though Ray is gone, the shadows of his crimes still linger across the New Mexico desert, haunting investigators, grieving families, and anyone who dares to uncover the truth about the worst criminal you've never heard of. The legacy of his crimes is a chilling reminder that monsters do exist, and sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that remain unfinished, unanswered, and buried beneath the silence of the desert.